The anesthesia was starting to flow through my IV. My eyes were getting heavy. At the last moment, I heard the nurse whisper, "Doctor, there's a DNR form here, but the signature looks strange." Before I completely blacked out, I thought, which signature? My name is Lorraine Carter, and I'm 70 years old. That sentence saved my life. I need to go back to the beginning, because to understand this story, you need to know what I went through in the last 3 months. I live in the West End neighborhood of Atlanta. I taught high school English for 40 years. My husband, James, passed away from cancer 8 years ago. Since that day, I've been living alone, and I was quite happy. I have 2 children. Marcus is 45, works in real estate. Vanessa is 48, a manager at Piedmont Hospital. Both successful, both married, both loved me very much. Or so I thought. 3 months ago, the heart palpitations started. I went to the doctor. Dr. Patricia Hayes was very clear. "Mrs. Carter, you have a serious aortic valve problem. Surgery is necessary. If you wait, the risk of heart failure is very high." I told my children. Marcus and Vanessa came home right away. They looked very worried. Vanessa cried, "Mama, you're everything to us. We're going to find you the best surgeon." Marcus held my hand. "Mama, don't worry. We're going to handle everything. Surgery costs, recovery process, everything. You just focus on getting better." That night, I went to bed happy. My children were by my side. They loved me. I had nothing to fear. But in the following days, strange things started happening. At first, they were small things, so I didn't pay much attention. Marcus would call every day asking about my hospital appointments. "Mama, when exactly is the surgery? Which hospital? Which doctor?" Vanessa started visiting constantly. She'd stop by every weekday. At first, I was happy. My daughter was thinking about me, but every time she'd ask the same questions. "Mama, is your will updated? Mama, who's the beneficiary on your life insurance? Mama, have we ever talked about your bank accounts?" One day I asked, "Baby girl, why are we talking about money and wills so much?" Vanessa laughed, but her eyes weren't smiling. "Mama, I just want to be prepared. What if something happens during surgery?" "The doctor said the surgery's routine," I said. "Yeah, but you 70 years old, Mama. Every surgery carries risk. I just want to make sure everything's in order." That word order had sounded strange, but I didn't push it. Marcus had changed too. He'd always been laid-back, easygoing child, but now he was constantly tense. One day I said to him, "Son, you all right? You looking real stressed." "Mama, things a little tight right now," he said. "Real estate market's slow. Nicole and me, we going through some money troubles." Nicole was Marcus's wife, financial advisor, always good with money. "How serious is it?" I asked. "Serious, Mama. We about to lose the house. Credit cards maxed out, but don't worry, we gonna figure it out." I offered to help. "Son, I got some money saved. From my retirement?" "No," he snapped, then softened. "I mean, no, Mama. You gonna need that money for surgery. We'll handle it." But there was something in his eyes, a calculation, an expectation. 2 weeks later, Vanessa and Marcus came together. Vanessa's husband, Derek, was with them. Derek's a lawyer, always been a cold, calculating person. "Mama," Vanessa started, "you need to sign some papers for the surgery." Derek pulled out a folder. "These are standard hospital forms, surgical consent, anesthesia authorization, and so on." The pages were full. Legal jargon, medical terms. I put on my glasses, but the words looked blurry. "I gotta read all of these?" I asked. "Mama, they all standard," Marcus said. "Dr. Hayes' office sent them. Just sign, we'll take care of it." I picked up my pen. Signed the first page, second page, third page, maybe 7 to 8 forms total. I signed them all. Good mama, Vanessa said, quickly gathering the forms. We'll take these to the hospital. That night I couldn't sleep. Something felt wrong, but I couldn't put my finger on it. I called my neighbor, Mrs. Geneva. Geneva's a retired nurse, worked 40 years at Grady Hospital, my closest friend. Geneva, I said, what kind of forms am I supposed to sign before surgery? Surgical consent, anesthesia consent, blood transfusion permission, things like that, she said. Why are you asking? Today my kids brought a whole bunch of forms, maybe 7 to 8 of them. Geneva went quiet. Lorraine, 7 to 8 forms is too many. For a normal surgery, 3 to 4 forms is enough. Did you read what you signed? No, I said shamefully. My eyes don't see good anymore. My kids said it was standard. Lorraine, Geneva's voice got serious. Tomorrow, call the hospital. Find out what you signed, ask for copies. Next morning, I called the hospital. Hello, I'm Lorraine Carter. I signed some surgery forms yesterday. Can I get copies? The secretary said, let me check. Long silence. Then she came back. Mrs. Carter, there are no forms in your file. When did you sign them? Last night. My children brought them. They said they came from the hospital. Forms don't get sent to homes from the hospital. You fill out forms here in the doctor's office. My heart started racing. Then what did I sign? I don't know, ma'am. But it didn't come from us. I hung up. My hands were shaking. I called Marcus. It rang 8 times. No answer. I called Vanessa. Went straight to voicemails. I called Geneva. Geneva, something's wrong. Those forms didn't come from the hospital. Lorraine, calm down. I'm coming over. Geneva arrived in 20 minutes. We sat together. Think, Lorraine, she said. What else happened in the last 3 months? I thought. Marcus's money troubles. Vanessa's constant questions about wills and insurance. Derek's sudden visits. Everything started coming together. Geneva, I got $500,000 in life insurance, I said. James left it. Marcus and Vanessa are the beneficiaries. Geneva's face changed. And how much your house worth? Last appraisal said $350,000. Lorraine, Geneva held my hand. I hate to say this, but if your kids are in money trouble and you about to have surgery... She didn't need to finish. The truth hit me like a truck. My children, my own children, were they hoping I'd die? No, I said. No, my own children wouldn't do something like that. I hope I'm wrong, Geneva said. But you gotta find those forms. You gotta know what you signed. I couldn't sleep that night. Morning came. Marcus came by, smiling like always. Mama, today we going to your pre-surgery checkup. You ready? Son, I said, can I get copies of those forms I signed the other day? His face changed for a moment, just a brief moment. Then he smiled. Mama, Derek got those. We'll show you after the surgery. Why after surgery? Why not now? 'Cause you need to focus on surgery. Paperwork can wait. On the drive to the hospital, I stayed quiet. Marcus kept talking, but I wasn't listening. My mind was on those forms. We went into Dr. Hayes' office. The doctor greeted me with a smile. Mrs. Carter, how you doing? You ready for surgery? Dr. Hayes, I said, I signed some forms last week. Did you send those? Dr. Hayes frowned. What forms? I don't send forms. Forms get filled out here. Marcus jumped in. Mama, you confused. Those forms were insurance forms, right? Nicole sent them, but Dr. Hayes was looking at me. Mrs. Carter, what did you sign? I don't know, I said honestly. It was 7 to 8 forms. My kids said they were standard surgery forms. Dr. Hayes got serious. I don't have 7 to 8 forms for my surgeries. Marcus, where are these forms? Marcus looked uncomfortable. Doctor, these are family papers, nothing to do with the surgery. If there's a form related to my surgery, I need to know about it, Dr. Hayes said firmly. The tension filled the room. Marcus stood up. Mama, let's go home. You tired? You getting confused? But Dr. Hayes raised her hand. Hold on. Mrs. Carter, let me check your file. She turned to her computer, clicked for a few minutes, then her face changed. There's something here. A DNR form. DNR? I said. What's that? Do not resuscitate. It's a form that says if your heart stops during surgery, we shouldn't try to revive you. The world stopped. I didn't sign no form like that. Dr. Hayes looked at the screen. Your signature's here. Entered electronically 2 weeks ago. Marcus stepped back. Mama, maybe you forgot. I didn't forget, I shouted. I had never shouted like that with such anger in my life. I would never sign a form saying don't revive me if my heart stops. Dr. Hayes stood up. Marcus, this is very serious. If this form is fake, it's not fake, Marcus said quickly. Mama's getting old. She forgets things. I don't forget. I was shaking now. Dr. Hayes, can I see that form? Dr. Hayes printed the form. When I held it in my hands, I saw the signature. It looked like mine, but it wasn't. It was a little shakier. The letter shapes were slightly different. This ain't my signature, I said. It looks like it, but it ain't. Dr. Hayes examined the form carefully. Mrs. Carter, you might be right. This signature does look a bit strange. Marcus panicked. Doctor, Mama's old. Her signature changes sometimes. Marcus, Dr. Hayes said coldly, where was this form signed? There's no date or location shown. Marcus's face turned bright red. I don't know. Maybe in the hospital records? It's not in hospital records, Dr. Hayes said sharply. This form was entered into the electronic system from outside. Who entered it? Silence. Who entered it? Dr. Hayes repeated. Marcus couldn't speak. That's when I understood. Vanessa. Vanessa, who was a hospital manager. Vanessa, who had access to the system. Vanessa, I whispered. Dr. Hayes looked at me. Your daughter, Vanessa Williams? The manager at Piedmont? I nodded. Dr. Hayes picked up the phone. Call security and get Vanessa Williams to my office. Now. The next hour was a blur. Vanessa came, Derek with her. Security guards were there. Dr. Hayes showed the form. Derek immediately went into lawyer mode. This is a misunderstanding. Mother signed the form but forgot, but Dr. Hayes wouldn't back down. This signature looks fake, and the form was entered into the system against protocol. Ms. Williams, did you enter it? Vanessa started crying. I was just carrying out my mother's wishes. I never made no such wish, I shouted. The security chief stepped in. Mrs. Carter, do you want to report this to the police? I looked at my children, Marcus and Vanessa. I had nursed these babies. I had rocked them to sleep when they woke up at night. I had held their hands on their first day of school, and now they had planned for me to die. Yes, I said, call the police. Vanessa collapsed. Mama, no, please, I was just what? I snapped. Just wanted the $500,000 insurance money, just wanted the $350,000 house. Tell me, if my heart stopped during surgery, how long were you going to wait before doctors intervened? Marcus lunged forward. Mama, please! We were desperate. We got debts, Nicole and me, we losing everything. And that's my fault, I screamed. I was supposed to die for your money problems? Derek tried to intervene. Mrs. Carter, you're in an emotional state. Maybe you shut up. I turned on him. You're a lawyer. Did you set up the legal side of this plan? You know DNR fraud is a crime, don't you? Derek's face went pale. The police arrived in 30 minutes. Two detectives, I told them everything. Dr. Hayes showed the medical records. The security chief explained how Vanessa accessed the system. They arrested Marcus and Vanessa. Vanessa was crying, "Mama, please, think about your grandchildren. Think about the babies." "My grandchildren?" I said. "You didn't think about your own mother. Why should I think about grandchildren? They took them away. Geneva was there that day. She drove me home. I collapsed in my living room." "How? Geneva?" I asked. "How can my own children do this?" Geneva sat next to me. "Money, Lorraine. Money changes people, makes them into monsters. But they, my children. I raised them. I taught them values." "I know, honey. I know." That night I couldn't sleep. I cried until morning. In 70 years of life, I had never experienced such betrayal. Next day, I called my lawyer, told him everything, changed my will, removed Marcus and Vanessa, left all my money to organizations working against child abuse and elder neglect, changed my life insurance beneficiaries. Now it was going to a children's hospital. The surgery was delayed a month. I didn't want surgery while the police investigation was ongoing. Finally, I had surgery with a different doctor at a different hospital. Geneva was with me. Surgery was successful. During my recovery, Marcus and Vanessa sent messages, called. I didn't answer. Derek offered a deal. Drop the charges and they'll walk away from the family. Never bother you again. I told my lawyer, no. The charges will proceed. They're going to face consequences for what they did. Vanessa was fired from the hospital. Her license was suspended. Marcus and Derek were prosecuted for fraud and attempted harm. The trial day came, I saw them. They weren't those strong, confident children of mine anymore. They were broken, defeated. The judge asked me, "Mrs. Carter, do you want to proceed with the charges against your children?" I looked at them, long and hard. "Yes," I said, "because if they can plan their own mother's death, they're dangerous to society." Vanessa got 3 years in prison, 5 years probation. Marcus got 2 years in prison, 5 years probation. Derek lost his license. Now 2 years have passed. I'm 72 years old. I still live in West End, same house. Geneva's still my best friend. I volunteer at church. I tend my garden. Life goes on. Sometimes I think about Marcus and Vanessa. I cry for them, but I never once regretted my decision because my life was worth more than their greed. My grandchildren wrote to me. They apologized for what their parents did. I forgave them. They were innocent, but Marcus and Vanessa, I never want to see them again. My name is Lorraine Carter. I'm 70 years old and I learned my own children planned my death, but I'm still here and they lost. My name is Ruby and I want to thank Lorraine for sharing her story with us. Sometimes the dangers that come from family are the most invisible. Sometimes the people who claim to love you the most never loved you at all. What would you do in this situation? Would you turn your own children over to the police? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed Lorraine's story, like this video and subscribe to Stories of Aunt Ruby. More real-life stories are waiting for you. Until next time, take care of yourselves and make sure the people you trust are truly trustworthy. With love and truth, Ruby.